Tam Monetram Yugmam Rajantam Karambojayogmena Satankanekam
Dantam Murnetra Yugmam Rajantam Karambojayogmena Satankanekam
Swasakam patri rekhankakanta Stitagravam damodaram bhaktivadam
Swasakam patri rekhankakanta Stitagravam damodaram bhaktivadam
Druksalilabhiranandakonde Sagosham nimajantam akyapayantam
Druksalilabhiranandakonde Sagosham nimajantam akyapayantam
Adiyeshitagneshu bhaktarjitatam Puna prematastam shatavrati vande
Adiyeshitagneshu bhaktarjitatam Puna prematastam shatavrati vande
Param deva moksham na mokshavadin va Nachanyam raneyam varechadapiha
Varam deva moksham na mokshavadin va Nachanyam pranayam varesadapiha
Varam deva moksham na mokshavadin va Nachanyam raneyam varechadapiha
Varam deva moksham na mokshavadin va Nachanyam
raneyam
varesadapiha
Idam teva puranata gopalabalam Sada me manasya virastam kimanya Idam teva puranata
Gopalabalam Sada me manasya virasam kimanye
Idam te mukambojam atyanta nile Kritam kuntalai snigdha raktashabhokya
Idam te mukambojam atyanta nile Kritam kuntalai snigdha raktaischa gopya
Muchumbitam bimba raktadaram ve Anashya virastam alam lakshalave Everyone
Muchumbitam bimba raktadaram me Manasya virastam alam lakshalabe
Damodara Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdi Magna
Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabdi Magna
कृपा दृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदिनं वतानो ग्रहणे क्षमामाज्ञामे दक्षिणेश कुबेरात्मजबाधमूर्तभयाद्वा त्वयामोचिता भक्तिभाजकृतो च अतः प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकाम्य प्रयाच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थिरामोदरेया नमस्ते सुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयो नरायत विश्वसुधाम्ने
नमस्ते स्तुताम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने
त्वदीयो
नरायत विश्वस्य धाम्ने
नमस्ते सुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयो नरायत विश्वसुधाम्ने
नमस्ते स्तुताम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयो नरायत विश्वस्य धाम्ने
नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवयतोऽप्यम्
नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
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 नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भजमानं
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम
राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Damodara Jaya Damodara
Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Damodara Jaya Damodara
Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham
Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham
Jai Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Nitai Gaurang Jaya Nitai Gaurang
Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga
Jai Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Premanande Bolo Shri Shri Radha Damodar Bhagwan Ki Jai Shri Shri Kartik Mas Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai
क्या बोले?
What's my name? Oh, he finally got it right. I asked him like 2 million times. He said this. Huh? Vishwa. Who's this? Arjun. Are you a monkey?
Krishna says the Sahonam Gildami Hriseta.
Prajun,
You are doing right?
who is Prajun? Huh?
You are doing right? Lecture.
Lecturer.
Oh,
Abhishek.
singing, you know?
Abhishek.
Oh, okay. I turned off all the mics. I thought lecture.
Where is Prajun? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Swasti no Govinda Swasti no Achyutananto Swasti no Vasudevo Vishnurdadhatu Swasti no Narayano Naro Vai Swasti nah Padmanabha Purushottamo Dadhatu Swasti no Visvaksheno Visveshwaraha Swasti no Hrishikesho Harirdadhatu Swasti no Vainateyo Harihi Swasti no Anjana Suto Hanur-bhagavato Dadhatu Swasti Swasti Sumangalaikesho Mahan Sri Krishna Satchidananda Ghana Sarveshwareshwaro Dadhatu Om Swasti Om Swasti Om Swasti Sri Guru Paramananda Premananda Phalaprada Vrajananda Pradhananda Sevayama Niyojaya Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Dhyanam Pratah Srimannavadvipe Dvinetram Dvibhujam Gurum Varabhayapradam Shantam Smaretannama Purvakam Idam Asanam Swagatam Suswagatam Etat Padyam Idam Arghyam Idam Achamaniyam Esha Madhuparkaha Idam Punarachamaniyam Etat Snaniyam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Come on everyone. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
You're playing too slow.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudeva Srila Prabhupada, Gurudeva Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudeva Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev Prabhupada, Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev Prabhupada, Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Yes, sir. Oh, this one bigger one. Oh, yeah. This one. Huh? Okay. Okay. This one?
If you don't know how to do it, open this, release it slowly. You should not put pressure on it, it will break. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauravaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today on this occasion of Srila Prabhupada's Disappearance Day, I thought we'll spend a few minutes reminiscing how Srila Prabhupada remembered his spiritual master on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Disappearance Day. So many of you will remember in 1922, Srila Prabhupada was in Calcutta at that time. So one of his friends, I think his name is Narendra, he wanted Prabhupada, at the time it was known as Abhay Charan, he wanted him to come with him to see a sadhu.
But Srila Prabhupada was very hesitant to go. The reason he was hesitant to go was that his father, Gaur Mohan De, used to invite sadhus to come to their house almost every day. He said that 3-4 people used to be there in their house almost every day. And many of them sadhus were, after they would have prasadam in their house, they would be seen outside smoking bidi and things like that, and ganja and things like that. So Srila Prabhupada had been a little apprehensive that why are these sadhus not following the higher standards. So, but Narendra insisted, please come. This is a very nice sadhu. And they went up to that building in the top floor. Many of you might have seen those pictures. Now they have created a sort of a diorama exhibit of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur sitting there and Prabhupada looking at him, and that they've captured that moment. In Calcutta, if you go, you should make it a point to visit. That house is now a nice temple. So there, on the rooftop, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was preaching very forcefully. He was brilliant, in saffron robes as a sannyasi, and very forcefully he was preaching. And Srila Prabhupada was very, very impressed. I'll just read Srila Prabhupada recollecting this on December 13th, 1973, during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Disappearance Day celebrations. Prabhupada. So at that time, we had some talks. And of course, I was defeated by his argument, my argument. And then Prabhupada laughs. And then, when we came out, we were offered prasadam. Very nice treatment, the Gaudiya Mata. And when I came out on the street, this my friend asked me, "What is your opinion of this sadhu?" Then I said, "Here is the right person who has taken up Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message, and now it will be distributed." Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. So, Srila Prabhupada's first impression of seeing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was, he's a nice, fine sadhu. So one of the things we should all think about in our own spiritual lives, in the way we live our lives, we should remember that we have the responsibility of being representatives of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And people who interact with us, people who see us, they should leave that interaction with the feeling, this is a nice person. This is a nice sadhu. Right? This is the way we can, to a small extent, repay the unlimited debt we have to our spiritual master. Another thing that I'd like to point out in this very same lecture, Srila Prabhupada was always very appreciative of all his disciples and the wonderful services they were doing. Towards the end of the same lecture, Prabhupada gets very emotional. So I'll just read out. He's talking about how he took sannyas. And I was dreaming that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura is calling me, "Please come out with me." Pause. So I was somewhat horrified. Oh, what is this? I have to give up my family life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura is calling me. I have to take sannyas. Oh, I was horrified. But I saw several times calling me. So anyway, it is by His grace I was forced to give up my family life, my so-called business life, and He taught me some way or other in preaching His gospel. Look at the humility of Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, talking about how he took to sannyas. So this is a memorable day. What he desired, I am trying little bit, and you are all helping me. So I have to thank you more. You are actually representative of my Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada starts to cry. With a very choked voice, with tears in his eyes, he says, because you are helping me in executing the order of my Guru Maharaj. So you can see the mood of our spiritual master. He was so thankful to his spiritual master for having sent all these disciples to spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So on this occasion, we should all remember the good fortune of having each other in our lives to serve the mission of our spiritual master together. We should have gratitude. We should have very immense feeling of being thankful and being grateful for this association that helps us become fixed up in our spiritual lives. Because without the devotees' association, it is not possible for all of us to really advance properly in our spiritual lives. So irrespective of somebody is a senior, somebody is junior to you, somebody is a peer, does not matter. Each of us has been put into each other's lives for a reason. And we have to be grateful, thankful for that. And have that mood that, as Prabhupada is saying, you are actually representatives of my Guru Maharaj. Because you are helping me in executing the order of my Guru Maharaj. Each of us, when we take different services, we cannot do our services without the help of other devotees. We need each other for our spiritual life and for our services as well. And that feeling of gratitude and of being representatives of Srila Prabhupada, we should feel that mood in our things. So, on these kind of occasions, we should try to imbibe the mood of our spiritual master. And it is Prabhupada used to say, I will be there forever in my books. So Srila Prabhupada is not physically there with us, but he has given us immense literatures, an organization, a way of life we can all follow and be forever at his lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada Disappearance Day Mahotsav ki. Bol Premanande.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada. So I want to talk about three personalities, what they said about Srila Prabhupada. Those three personalities are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Firstly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Chaitanya Mangala, Lochandas Thakur, he writes like this, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I'll quote the Bengali, Ebe naam sankirtana tikshna khadga laya antara asura jivera phelibe katiya. So, taking the sharp sword, what is that sword? Congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. I will root out and destroy the demoniac mentality in the hearts of all the conditioned souls. Sankirtana khadga laya antara asura jivera phelibe katiya. But now, when somebody is coming to attack with a sword, so what people do? They try to escape. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this himself. But when I come with that mood, people obviously escape. So let's see what he says. Yadi papi chadi dharma dure deshe yaya. So if some sinful people escape, dure deshe yaya, giving up religious principles, go off to far countries, Mora Senapati Bhakta Yaibe Tathaya. Then my Senapati Bhakta, my military commander, will come at that time to bring them back, give them Krishna consciousness. Senapati Bhakta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Senapati Bhakta, military commander, Srila Prabhupada ki. And now Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he says this, he calls this as a future church, because church is something religious place where people go and worship. So he coins this word called future, future church of the world. So future church of the world, it will not be like ordinary church, which is typically sectarian, where one kind of faith people go there. The other kind of people will go to mosque or temple and things like that. But the future church of the world, he says, that will not be sectarian. Everybody will go and attend that. And that is nothing but this Harinam Sankirtana. This Harinam Sankirtana will be the future church of the world. He writes like this in his book, his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life and precepts. And he predicted in 1875 itself, that is 21 years before Srila Prabhupada appeared, he writes, a personality will soon appear to preach the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and move unrestrictedly over the whole world with his message. So that is Srila Prabhupada's prediction by Bhakti Vinod Thakur way back in 1875. And then finally Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So during the last stages of his pastimes, he conducted a Gauramandal Parikrama, where lots and lots of pilgrims came, devotees came, that Gaudiya Mata in Champahatta, in Gauramandala. And at that same time, on that same day, he was giving a last lecture, concluding the tour. So one of his disciples had been to London for preaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had sent. So he had traveled and came back on that day, and he landed there. So there was a big meeting, big pravachan, and hundreds of devotees were assembled, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was talking. And then he was saying how that was his mission of his father. His father had a vision that this Krishna consciousness needs to be given to everyone in the world. especially the Westerners. It needs to go there. And even his mother, Bhagavati Devi, when she passed away, she took promise from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that he would use all his, whatever means he has, to do what Bhaktivinoda Thakur had envisaged. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was saying all this, and he said, I'm willing to give up all these funds from Gaudiya Mata's properties and send people and preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in the Western countries. But it has not been proven successful. And while he was talking, there was some sannyasi sitting in the front, and he was gradually glancing through all of them. And then he gradually turned left, and there was one disciple named Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj. It's basically, he is relating this memory. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was looking at him, but he knew that he was not looking at him. So he turned back, and he saw Prabhupada there. At that time, Abhay Charana Das. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was making direct eye contact with Prabhupada in the midst of hundreds of devotees. And then he said, I have a prediction to make. In the future, however long it may take, one of my disciples will cross the ocean and will bring back the whole world and make them Krishna conscious. That was the prediction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur made looking at Prabhupada. And later that disciple was mentioning how practically Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at that time he gave the authorization to Prabhupada or he recognized that Prabhupada was that empowered personality who will bring this Krishna consciousness. So usually, I was reading recently Bhagavatam purport, very powerful. I thought I want to share that. So people say, I want to see God. So Prabhupada writes, this is in conjunction with this 4th canto Puranjana's episode, where this Puranjana becomes attached to his wife, and in the next life he becomes a woman. But he marries a great devotee called Malayadhvaja, and then they all perform austerities, and Malayadhvaja goes to forest. She also accompanies him. And eventually Malayadhvaja dies in the forest. And she's all alone. She has to take care of this dead body, and in the middle of the forest, nowhere. And suddenly, out of nowhere, one Brahmana comes. And he starts to, pacify her and give some instructions. Basically, this whole story is an allegory. Puranjana is nothing but a living entity, and how all these allegories are made. So this Brahmana is nothing but the Paramatma, Krishna coming to this woman. So there Prabhupada mentions, if Krishna has come, why Krishna has not come as he is? Why did he come as Brahmana? That was a question posed. He could have come as himself. Why did he come as a Brahmana? So the answer Prabhupada mentioned was, Krishna does not exhibit himself to everyone as he is. That needs a lot of qualification. But he says, if one has strong resolve to serve one's spiritual master's instructions, he says it is tantamount to seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or, in other words, there is no difference between seeing the Supreme Lord or serving the spiritual master, or even having the strong resolve to serve the spiritual master. It is the same thing. It is called, in popular words, Vani Seva. So Vani Seva is nothing but seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one who does that, eventually, he will actually see the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada mentions how by strongly serving having the resolve to serve one's spiritual master, one becomes successful in life. So we should have the same resolve as Srila Prabhupada had in serving his spiritual master. We should have the same resolve to serve Srila Prabhupada and not be eager. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes, one should not be eager to go see Krishna in the bushes of Vrindavan. That is not our line. Our line is to serve the spiritual master and let Krishna reveal himself. Now, before concluding, exactly the same thing that Prabhu was inspired, I was also inspired by. I wanted to share. So we have a video coming up to bring you to actual emotions that Prabhupada was packing, how much he was moved, surcharged with spiritual potency while he was talking about the mercy of his spiritual master. So Prabhu already read it out, the words, but we will show the last 2 minutes of that lecture, packed with full spiritual emotions, Prabhupada's gratitude for his spiritual master. So we'll play that right now.
Yes. Krishna says, Sahon Anigildami Hariseta Dhanam Sani. If somebody wants to be actually devotee of Krishna, at the same time keeps his material attachment, then Krishna's business is he takes away everything material so that same person he becomes, dependent on Krishna. So that actually happened to my life. I was obliged to come to this movement, to take up this very seriously. And I was dreaming that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me, please come out with me. So I was sometimes horrified. Oh, what is this? I have to give up my family life. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is calling me. I have to take sannyas. Oh, I was horrified. But I saw several times calling me. So anyway, it is by his grace I was forced to give up my family life and so-called business life. And he brought me somewhere or other in preaching his gospel. So, this is a memorable day. What he deserved, I am trying little bit, and you are all helping me. So I have to thank you more. You are actually representative of my Guru Maharaj. Because you are helping me in executing the order of my Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Now on that note, we will sing this song of separation from Srila Prabhupada, Jayanilo Premadhana. After that, we will offer the Pushpanjali. Jayanilo Premadhana Karuna Prachur যে অনিল প্রেমাধনা করুণা প্রচুর অনিল ক্লোজার যে অনিল প্রেমাধনা করুণা প্রচুর যে হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর হেন প্রভু কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর হেন কোথা গেলা আচার্য ঠাকুর কহ মোরা স্বরূপ রূপা কহ সনাতন কহ মোরা कह दास रघु नधापति तपावन कह कह दास रघु नधापति तपावन कह कह मोरा भट्ट जुगा कह कबीरा कह एक काले कोथा गेला गोरा नटारा एक काले कोथा एक काले कोथा गेला गोरा नटारा एक काले पाषाणे कुटिब माथा आनले पचिब पाषाणे गौरंग गुणेरा निधि कोथा गेले पाब गौरंग गौरंग गुणेरा निधि कोथा गेले पाब गौरंग से सब संगीरा संगे जे कोई लोविला से सब संग Se sangana paya kande narotamada. Se sangana Se sangana paya kande narotamada. Kahamora Prabhupada patita pavana. Kahamora Prabhupada patita pavana. Heno Prabhu ko thagela Acharya Thakur. Heno Prabhu Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Thai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So now we'll have Pushpanjali to Srila Prabhupada. We'll turn towards Prabhupada's deity. All of you please stand up.
Can you please keep this one? Nothing? Can you keep this one? Somebody is distributing flowers? Give it everyone. Please, first time offer the flowers in your mind, first 2 times, and third time we'll all go and offer to Prabhupada. Okay? Please repeat after me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine. Yesa Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine. Yesha Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyata Deshatarine. Yesha Pushpanjali. You can all come one by one, offer, and then please go towards the back and offer obeisances so that you don't block people over here. And then we can all go for prasadam. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्राह्मणे वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यवतं राजन् विश्वासने वजायते शरीर विद्याजाल जड़ेन्द्रियताय का जीवा फैले विषय सागरे तारा मध्य जीवा थी लोभो माय सुदुर्मति डाके जे डाकटिन संसारे कृष्ण बोड़ो दया माय कोरिवारे जीवा जाय स्वय प्रसाद निलो भाई सय नम्रत पाओ श्री राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेम डाको श्री चैतन्य दाय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री कृष्ण बलराम गौर निताय श्रीनिवास गोविंदा प्रहलाद नरसिम्हा शिल प्रभुपाद महाप्रसादम की जय शिल प्रभुपाद तीरो भाव महामहोत्सव की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे